yo, so last time I recorded this video, it was not as, like, I just restated a bunch of different facts, and it wasn't as timely, so let's just get this done. I literally just recorded another draft, and I was like, I hold myself to a higher standard. So, what does this movie do well? It does the relationship between Maria and Shadow well, because it has little tidbits of the relationship and of the friendship between Maria and Shadow. And I'm just wondering when the next friendship scene will happen. And I love that. I don't know what I love about it. It's so much fun to see that. And what else? So Jim Carrey is really funny. Let's talk about the cast for a sec. Jim Carrey is the star comedic guy, right? And he is the greatest of all time. Whoever decided, oh yeah, we should have 2 Jim Carreys in this movie, you need a raise. You give this person a $1 million raise, $1 million every single second, right? It's just like, man, he was so good. He was so good. And guess who else was good? Shadow. I really thought that Shadow would carry the movie, but no, it was Jim Carrey that carried the movie. Like, he literally has Carrey in his name. But Shadow was voiced by Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves did a great job. And I feel like, Keanu Reeves really captured the essence, the edginess of Shadow. And Shadow was a complete opposite to Sonic, with James Marsden's character, Tom, who was actually important to the main plot in this story, but I'll get to that later. Tom told Sonic that what he liked most about Sonic was the fact that Sonic's pain in losing Longclaw never defined Sonic. But that was the entirety of Shadow's character. Right? And that was just Shadow as a character. Sonic was the complete opposite, though, right? Because while Shadow was stricken by grief and he wanted to blow up the entire Earth for that, Sonic just was like, you know what's stronger than grief? The love we have for those people that we are grieving for. But Shadow never understood that until at the end, where they did a Dragon Ball fight scene and went like, that was so good. That scene was, oh man, when Live and Learn started playing and they went Super Sonic and Super Shadow and they tried to push back the how did I get an E rank on this? That does not matter. And they tried to push back the space colony arc. That was so cool, and I was like, up, live and learn. And instead of that stupid plot, the side plot with the wedding, the humans actually get a normal plot, right? They're just inside the plot, like they're there, right? And after Shadow hurts Tom and breaks his arm, Sonic is stricken with revenge, but he does not become what Shadow becomes. Well, at least after a bit of beating up. He beats up Shadow for a bit and steals the Master Emerald from Wade, but, uh, other than that, that's really it. That's like, his entire theme is he does not want to be stricken by grief as much as Shadow is, and that's what happens. He stops being stricken by grief, and he ends the fight with Shadow. Oh my god. If y'all don't know, I play my background footage live because I feel like it's more authentic that way. So yeah, that's what I do. Dang, that's crazy. So, what else? I talked about Jim Carrey. I talked about Shadow. Ben Schwartz, amazing voice for Sonic. Top 3 voices for Sonic, and he is not number 3. I never was the biggest fan of Tails, so, like, Tails doesn't do a lot in this movie, so I don't really care. But Tails is in this movie, too, right? That is also somebody who is in this movie, though. He in the movie. Everything else was just... The first act felt a bit slow, but after the death of Agent What's-His-Name, everything just sped up. And the first act's comedy wasn't good, but once Robotnik came in, and once both of the Jim Carreys came in, the comedy just got... Like, Jim Carrey carried the comedy. Sure, Knuckles had some good moments, but the comedy was just way better with Jim Carrey. And that dance scene where they're dancing in front of the lasers, peak. It's so funny. And it's just something that is totally on brand for Jim Carrey. I feel like that is something that he would do. Right? So, what else? Just everything is so good. It's just amazing. The CGI and visuals. I know a lot of people said they could easily see the green screen, but I couldn't easily see any green screens. Maybe that's just because my eye is not as keen as these seasoned internet reviewers that only watch movies for a living. But, you know, that would actually be a good living. I'm not even trying to make fun of them for real. I would definitely love that living. You know, just watching a bunch of movies. That's really cool because you get entertained for a living instead of working. You just get entertained. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. That would be so much fun. But yeah. Let's talk about the post-credit scene. So the second post-credit scene is where we find out that Shadow isn't dead because, oh yeah, Robotnik and Shadow, they sacrificed themselves. And now I could kind of tell that Shadow isn't dead, but if they bring back Eggman, I feel like that'll ruin the appeal of the sacrifice that Eggman had. Because his sacrifice was so cool. And he was like, well, if I can't conquer the world, might as well save it. And I feel like that's such a good character moment. And topping his story off with that was just... I think that would be so good, right? Shadow, I don't think his story's topped off yet, right? And we find out that Shadow isn't dead in the second post-credit scene, but the first post-credit scene is really where it's at. Because Metal Sonic shows up. And there's a bunch of different Metal Sonics. But, they're actually, if you look closer, they are gray. Which means that there are a bunch of different Silver Sonics, I guess. You remember Silver Sonic, one of the final bosses from Sonic 2? Yeah, I don't either. Actually, I do. I literally just finished Sonic Origins, so I'm just saying, like, you probably don't, because, you know, he was a lesser-known boss. But we see a bunch of, Silver Sonics that look like Metal Sonic, I guess. And, Amy destroys every single Silver Sonic, doesn't destroy Metal Sonic. But yeah, she comes with her hammer and destroys it. My theater was going crazy. Like, they were like, Metal Sonic? Amy? Like, that's wild. That's wild. That's wild. It's so wild. Like, oh my god. Oh man. Oh, that was so cool. Oh man, that was so cool. Ooh. Ooh. I can't even put into words how cool that was. I don't even like Amy for real. I find her annoying. But that was just so fun. And I already said this, but when Live and Learn started playing, that was so much fun. It's like I'm repeating myself at this point, so I feel like I should just start to end the video right now. Because I'm just gonna repeat myself and say, oh man, this is so cool, this movie is so good. But I just want to end off on this note. This movie is so cool, this movie is so good.